Welcome to my channel. I'm Mr.Night-Terror. Today's narrations are about true Reddit's Let's Not Meet stories. Don't forget to like and subscribe, as I will be posting many more true Reddit stories. Your likes and subscriptions are appreciated by me more than you could imagine. Now sit back, relax, and listen to these true Let's Not Meet stories. It's difficult for me to put into words the torment I endured during those agonizing months. The feeling of constantly being watched, the suffocating fear that accompanied every step I took. My life was forever altered when I became the target of a relentless stalker, a man so unstable and filled with malice that it haunts me to this day. Sharing my story on Reddit's Let's Not Meet feels like a cathartic release, a plea for solidarity and understanding in the face of unspeakable terror. It began innocently enough, a chance encounter at a local cafe where our paths briefly crossed. He seemed like any other stranger, unassuming and forgettable. Little did I know that our paths would cross again, and this time, he would latch onto my life with an unyielding grip. The signs were subtle at first, easily brushed off as coincidences. A familiar face in a crowd, a fleeting glimpse of someone standing just a bit too close. But as the days turned into weeks, the coincidences multiplied, blurring the line between chance and calculated pursuit. The messages began to pour in, an onslaught of anonymous texts and cryptic emails that revealed his obsession. The content of those messages, seething with a mix of rage and longing, made my blood run cold. He knew intimate details of my life, information only someone who had been watching me could possess. Each word dripped with menace, promising a twisted fate that awaited me. I felt like a cornered animal, my sense of security shattered, and my life forever on edge. The nightmare escalated as he started showing up uninvited to places I frequented. He'd appear on street corners, lurking in the shadows, his eyes locked on me with an intensity that sent shivers down my spine. Panic consumed me, knowing that no matter where I went, he could be waiting, ready to strike when I least expected it. I tried to seek help, reaching out to the authorities and sharing my story with friends and family. But without concrete evidence, their hands were tied, and my pleas fell on deaf ears. I felt abandoned, trapped in a twisted game of cat and mouse with an unstable predator who reveled in my vulnerability. Sleep became a luxury, haunted by nightmares and the constant paranoia that he was just outside my door. The simple act of leaving my home became an exercise in terror, my senses heightened, scanning every face, every passing shadow. The world I once knew was now a labyrinth of danger, and I was trapped in its suffocating embrace. Despite the fear that consumed me, I refused to be a victim. I took self-defense classes, installed security measures, and surrounded myself with a network of trusted friends. But even with these precautions, I couldn't escape the gnawing feeling that his presence was always lurking, waiting for the opportune moment to strike. Then, one fateful day, he disappeared just as mysteriously as he had entered my life. The messages ceased, the sightings came to an end. But the scars he left behind are etched deep within me, a constant reminder of the horrors I endured. To this day, I remain vigilant, forever looking over my shoulder, knowing that he could resurface at any moment. To those who may find themselves in a similar nightmare, I implore you to seek help and speak out. Don't let the darkness consume you. Find solace in the support of loved ones, and take every measure possible to protect yourself. Let my story serve as a chilling reminder that evil can walk among us, but together, we can refuse to let it define us. And to the stranger who shattered my sense of security, I say this: let's not meet again. May you find the help you so desperately need, and may your twisted intentions never bring harm to another innocent soul. Allow me to recount the harrowing tale of the Tinder date that will forever haunt my nightmares. As I type this story, my hands tremble, my heart races, and the memories of that night still send shivers down my spine. Sharing this experience on Reddit's Let's Not Meet is my way of warning others about the dangers lurking behind the veil of online dating. It all began innocently enough, swiping through profiles on Tinder in search of a potential connection. His profile seemed like any other: charming smile, witty bio, seemingly normal interests. We exchanged messages, and our conversations were lighthearted and engaging. Little did I know that behind that charming facade lay a dark and twisted soul. We agreed to meet at a popular local cafe, a seemingly safe choice for a first date. But as I approached the venue, a strange feeling crept over me, a gut instinct that something wasn't quite right. Ignoring the unease, I entered the cafe, hoping my fears were unfounded. He was already there, waiting at a corner table, his eyes fixated on me as if he had known me for years. The smile that once seemed warm now sent chills down my spine. His presence was overwhelming, and I couldn't shake the feeling that I was walking into a trap. Throughout our conversation, he divulged disturbing details about his past relationships, showing a troubling lack of empathy and remorse. Red flags waved before my eyes, yet I hesitated to escape the unsettling situation. I should have listened to my instincts and left right then, but something about his demeanor kept me paralyzed with fear. As the night wore on, he grew increasingly possessive and aggressive, belittling my interests and opinions. He seemed to delight in watching me squirm, as if to revel in his ability to control my emotions. I was trapped in a nightmarish dance with a predator, and I knew I had to escape before it was too late. Summoning every ounce of courage, I excused myself to use the restroom, intending to slip away unnoticed. But when I returned to the table, he was waiting for me, his eyes ablaze with a terrifying intensity. He accused me of trying to leave, revealing that he had been watching my every move. My heart sank, and I knew there was no escape from this dangerous situation. Feeling cornered and vulnerable, I decided to call a friend, hoping that the sound of another voice would deter him from taking further action. As I dialed the number, he snatched the phone from my hand and ended the call, his grip sending sharp jolts of pain through my wrist. Panic consumed me, and I realized I was in grave danger. Without a moment's hesitation, I bolted from the cafe, my heart pounding in my chest. He chased after me, his footsteps echoing through the deserted streets. I was running for my life, desperate to escape this monster who had weaved his web around me. By some stroke of luck, I managed to reach a busy intersection, where a group of strangers came to my aid, sensing the fear and desperation in my eyes. He vanished into the shadows, leaving me shaken and traumatized by the experience. In the aftermath of that terrifying Tinder date, I deleted my account and vowed to be more cautious in the future. To those embarking on the uncertain world of online dating, please heed my warning. Trust your instincts and don't ignore the signs of danger. Let my chilling story serve as a cautionary tale, a reminder that behind the charming profiles and seemingly innocent dates, there may lurk darkness that threatens to consume you. Let's not meet again, and may you find safety and love without having to endure the horrors of my nightmarish encounter. For context, I'm a 5'1" petite 23-year-old female with long blonde hair. But I've always enjoyed the quiet night shifts at the 7-Eleven. There were some weekend nights that were hectic with the bar drunks coming in after the bar closed, but besides that, pretty quiet. But one fateful evening, my world was shattered when a seemingly ordinary customer took a dark interest in me. He was a regular, his face always obscured by a hoodie pulled low over his eyes. One night, he lingered by the cashier counter, his intense gaze unnerving me. As I handed him his change, he spoke with a tone that sent chills down my spine. "You have a beautiful smile. We should go out sometime." My heart raced as I politely declined his offer, attempting to dismiss the unsettling feeling that had washed over me. But he was persistent, returning night after night, each time more insistent. He seemed to know my schedule, always appearing whenever I was working, and my sense of safety dwindled. His once charming demeanor morphed into something sinister. His eyes bore into me, making my skin crawl, as he told me how he couldn't bear to see me with anyone else. Fear gripped me when he started mentioning details of my personal life, revealing that he had been watching me from afar. One night, he cornered me by the soda aisle. His breath was hot against my neck as he whispered, "You're going to be mine. And if you're not, well, I can't guarantee your safety." My heart pounded in my chest, and I could feel the weight of his threat crushing my spirit. Terrified and feeling trapped, I confided in my manager, praying for help and protection. But even the security cameras caught nothing out of the ordinary. The stalker was cunning, slipping through the cracks of the system while tormenting me with his twisted obsession. Each night my heart sank as he sauntered in, eyes locked on me with a chilling determination. My coworkers tried to offer comfort, but I felt utterly alone, isolated in my fear of what this man was capable of doing. One night, he brazenly left a note on the counter, written with a sinister intent. It said, "If you don't give me a chance, I'll make sure you regret it." Panic overwhelmed me, and I realized that I couldn't escape this nightmare. Desperate to protect myself, I sought help from the authorities, who didn't take my pleas seriously. They just said they'd put more patrol units around the store. For months, the torment continued, until one day I brought in pepper spray, and as he got close to me, I threatened to use it. He smiled and said, "You ain't worth it, bitch." I never saw him again, thank God. The weight of his absence was both a relief and a terror, leaving me to wonder when he might resurface. I lived in constant fear, always looking over my shoulder, and my once cheerful spirit was replaced with a haunted sense of vulnerability. To this day, I wonder if he still lurks in the shadows, watching and waiting. My life was forever changed by those haunting encounters at the 7-Eleven, and I implore others to be vigilant, to trust their instincts, and to seek help if they ever find themselves entangled in a twisted web of obsession. To the crazy obsessed asshole who left me feeling paranoid, let's not meet again. Being the lead singer of a local band brought me joy and an adoring audience. But what started as an innocent fan's admiration quickly transformed into a chilling nightmare that would haunt me for an entire year. Her name was Emily, a girl I had briefly chatted with after a performance. She seemed sweet, albeit a bit too enthusiastic about our music. I didn't think much of it until she began showing up at every gig, her eyes locked onto me like a predator stalking its prey. At first, her presence was endearing, but soon it became unsettling. She sent countless messages, flooded my social media with obsessive comments, and even showed up at my apartment uninvited, begging for my attention. My personal space had become her playground, and I felt trapped in her relentless pursuit. As the months passed, her behavior escalated to terrifying levels. Emily followed me wherever I went, her shadow an ever-present reminder of her disturbing infatuation. Her once friendly demeanor soured, replaced by a manic obsession that sent shivers down my spine. Her late-night phone calls became a tormenting symphony, a barrage of threats and disturbing messages. She claimed we were destined to be together, and that no one else could ever understand our connection. Fear paralyzed me as she revealed chilling details about my daily routines, proving she had been stalking me for far too long. Emily's relentless campaign of terror infiltrated every aspect of my life. She vandalized my car with disturbing messages and left haunting notes at my doorstep. Sleep became a distant memory as I lived in constant fear of her next move. One night she cornered me after a gig, her eyes ablaze with madness. Her tone was venomous as she threatened to hurt me if I didn't reciprocate her feelings. The taste of fear was bitter on my tongue, and I knew that Emily's obsession was spiraling out of control. I finally gathered the courage to involve the authorities, but even as they took her into custody, her twisted grin haunted me, leaving a trail of nightmares in her wake. Restraining orders and heightened security measures became my only shield against her relentless pursuit. The year-long ordeal finally came to an end when Emily was arrested for violating the restraining order. The relief was bittersweet, knowing that she would be locked away but forever carrying the emotional scars she inflicted. I still hear her voice in my nightmares, a haunting echo of her malevolence. The fear she instilled in me will forever linger, a reminder of the darkness that can lurk behind seemingly innocent faces. To those who may encounter a similar nightmare, I urge you to seek help immediately. No one should have to endure the terror of a relentless stalker. My story is a chilling reminder that love and obsession are not synonymous, and that sometimes the price of fame can be much higher than we ever imagined. To Emily, the batshit crazy groupie, let's not meet again. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is a new channel, but there will be plenty more videos coming in the following weeks. So remember to like this video. If you enjoyed it, your likes help push this video to others who might enjoy it. This is Mr. Night-Terror. Stay scared, my friends.